If you or a loved one is in kidney failure, and eventually your path will lead you to dialysis, this is something that you need to know. So my husband was diagnosed with kidney failure a few years ago, and we've been on this slow, gradual path to dialysis. His doctor was very proactive. He asked us like what kind of dialysis we would want to do. There was the one where they do it through, like they filter your blood. And then there's one where they put it through your stomach somehow. I don't remember the technical names. But when we were talking to our doctor, or talking to his doctor, we asked him, we didn't know all the right questions to ask, but we did ask him which type would be better for you, like which one would make you feel better, just in general, which dialysis is better. And he said it's hemodialysis. That's what the blood one is called. He said hemodialysis was the one that he would suggest. So, based on his suggestion, we started going through the process. I say we because I'm the caregiver and I take him to his appointments, but it's really Nathaniel. He's really the one that's in the trenches. So, go. Get on. So, we started going through this process of getting, you better get on with your bad self. So, I started with, get on. Started with the process of getting a fistula in his arm, so that way when he was ready for dialysis, he would be set. Like there would be no emergency port, there would be none of that kind of thing. And so we're thankful that we went that route because there was no need for an emergency port or anything of that nature. The fistula failed, and so they ended up putting a graft in. Okay, so we truck on. I think 3 surgeries later, and several clots. This thing, it functions. And my husband has started dialysis. And our whole end goal was when we first started talking to people, like people as in the people with the dialysis center, about doing home dialysis. Like she came to the house, we talked about the 2 different kinds, and this is before we went through the surgery, talked about the 2 different kinds, and she talked about like insurance and things of that nature. Here's where it gets interesting. So even though we talked to the doctor, he said hemodialysis was better. We talked to the nurse with the dialysis center. She agreed that it was better, but she was fine either way. We get to starting dialysis, which he started at the end of August, started dialysis. And they're like, we're going to go ahead and start getting you ready to go do at-home dialysis. We're like, great. We set up a home visit date to come. And then the lady calls today. And she's talking to Nathaniel about their home visit and like the classes that are coming up. I knew there would be classes because hemodialysis involves us putting 2 needles into his arm. What I wasn't prepared for, thank you, ma'am. What I wasn't prepared for was the length of time that it takes for you to be trained to do at-home hemodialysis. So we were told today to do the training for at-home hemodialysis. It is a 5-week course, or whatever you want to call it, from 8 to 3. I think he said It's like 3 days a week. 4 days. There's 4 days a week. 4 days a week, 8 to 3 for 5 weeks. This man did not anticipate stabbing his own arm to hook himself up to the machine. We had always talked about I would do it for him, hook him up. He could run dialysis at night, and then we could resume normal lives as much as possible. The lady tells my husband today, well, insurance will pay for you to come to the class 5 weeks, and your caregiver has to come. We're also trying to get on the transplant list. So they want me to take off for 5 weeks. 4 days a week. Insurance will cover some of it. I don't know all those details because I was like, absolutely not. I don't have I just started a new job. I don't qualify for FMLA. I can't. We're going to have to go to the dialysis center until we can both, until I can go and not lose my job. And his only other option to do a very, short course that he can do by himself that doesn't involve needles and blood is I think it's called peritoneal. PD is what the lady told me. But it involves surgery and then putting a port in his stomach so he can do dialysis that way. That's another surgery. It's a whole ordeal, and he's got to heal from that before he can do that. I was like, why didn't I know? I'm just a little frustrated that the nurse that sat down with me and Nathaniel did not say, if you do this is the course. You have to be there for 5 straight weeks. There is it's not after work. You have to take off from work and do this. Insane. I'm just blown away with how I didn't know what questions to ask. So if you are in the same boat as I am, and my husband is, come on. No, this bike doesn't. You know to ask those questions. Ask how much training is involved, how much time you have to take off work for at-home training versus in a clinic dialysis, because I didn't know to answer this or ask those questions. So we're having to muddle through and just keep going to the center 3 times a week for 4 hours at a time. Actually, it's over 4 hours at a time, and try to continue work and all the things while he is doing dialysis. So, educational video for you. Those of you that are in the same boat. I haven't got a baby that you did not take a nap today, did you? Should not take a nap.
Mom.
Yes.